Alka Damle, founder President Club 50 Plus, Mr. Dattaprasad Pawaskar, Head of HelpAge India Goa, and Mr. Diogo and Costa, President Senior Citizens Forum of India Goa. I request Mr. Ronald Martins to kindly coordinate this session.
In this discussion, see what happens when we talk of government and then there is non-government. So that really is civil society. So we try to put together this panel. It's not that it's represents every view and all the views, but we just thought if we can ask three people to kind of briefly share if they had an opportunity to say what needs to be done, who can do it. So what needs to be done, who can do it, and what kind of help they would require, to take this movement forward. I think if we can address these three issues, we would be able to go forward. So if I can ask ma'am to open the innings. Ma'am Alka Damle is based in Vasco. So though we are sitting in Panji, we'll get a sort of bird's eye view of what's going on in that area of Goa and what are the challenges, issues they face. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure the cup of tea was refreshing and rejuvenating. We've been motivated since morning, and we all are senior citizens. I don't think we are used to, listen to so much for so many hours. But I believe in one thing strongly, and that is God has given us 2 legs, 2 hands, and above all 2 eyes and 2 ears, but only 1 tongue. Obviously with the intention. So we listen more, observe more, work more, and talk less. So I'll definitely do that. To be honest, actually, I must tell you that I have never dealt with such senior citizens issues where I needed to take some legal action. Although I did come across a couple of cases where I wanted to desperately help the senior citizens, but I really did not know how to go about it. So the first challenge in implementing the act and rule is to educate the social workers about the methodology to be adopted to guide the parents or the senior citizens, or for that matter, anyone who needs your help. Parents, if they have to resort to legal action and approach the courts with an appeal for their maintenance by their near and dear ones, I think that's not a very pleasant situation. I feel very sad to speak on this subject or to even narrate a couple of experiences which I had, because according to me it will be really the saddest moment of the life of a parent or a senior citizen if he has to knock the doors of the court to seek love, affection and assistance from our offspring. We all know since morning we've been hearing that there are plenty of rules which you and me probably were not even aware of and which we have learned this morning, since whole day in fact. But however, ultimately society can pass any number of acts and regulations and resolutions, but it will not be able to force the NOK, the next of kin, or the near and dear ones, to give that emotional support to the senior citizens. Hence I feel the need of the hour for such citizens is that they form their own support groups. We got to change our perspective. Families have gone nuclear, we know. People have become very busy, life has been very busy for everyone, including the senior citizens. 60 is not anymore considered as old age. So we got to find a solution for our own problems. That's what my strong conviction is. I remember a few incidents when I started a branch of Dignity Foundation in Vasco. Unfortunately, within a couple of weeks, the DF decided to close that office and move to Panji. And I have restricted my activities somehow mainly to Vasco, and therefore I was not able to join them in Panji. But Panaji, there is an office at Tonka. there's Dignity Foundation, and they are somewhat active, I would say. They meet and they have few members over there. But during those 15 days, just about 2 weeks, and as soon as we advertised in the paper that we are forming a Dignity Foundation is going to be here from Mumbai, which is a very, very experienced NGO in the field of senior citizens problems. They have old age homes as well. Couple of parents rang up, but they were so scared. We said, look, we understand your problem, but we got to come and meet you. We got to come and meet your next of kin about whom you are complaining. They were very, very scared. So I said, then how do we help you? I mean, we got to know both the sides of the story. Unless we know both the sides, we really can't go ahead, because we should know what the truth is. But in the meantime, I handed over those cases to the Councillor DF at Panaji, but they were not able to resolve the issues, because I did follow it up for next 1 month, but they were not able to really help them, because the senior citizens there, they did not want to disclose their names, they did not even want that their blood relation should come to know that they have approached us. So that was the end of it. Then the Club 50 Plus, which the 3 years old now, we are in Vasco. When I came to know about this Umid, I got the forms and the information, and the first problem there was when I read the first line that the income of the members should be less than 60,000 a year. None of my members, fortunately or unfortunately, fitted in that, and that was the end of trying to form Umid. So everyone in my group, we are about 30 of us, and we said, okay, we are quite a homogeneous group. We are on the same frequency, we can interact with each other on various issues. So let's try and do what we can do. I was mainly into clean city drives. 6 years back, before even AAP decided to have Bloom as their symbol, or our Honorable Prime Minister decided to have Swachh Bharat. In 2011, we started. We literally had a broom in our hand. We had an example of Garge Maharaj, and we started sweeping the roads of Vasco and started cleaning city by creating green patches wherever people were dumping. Then wherever people were littering, we started painting those walls and things like that. And one by one, it got me into some of these senior citizens. See, now the problem is affluent society. Probably I feel more than the underprivileged ones, people like us have more problems. Because underprivileged ones, they discuss among themselves. We have no such outlet. Even the husband and wife, after so many years of married life, they are scared of each other. They don't want to tell each other what the expectations are, or what the wife wants, or what the husbands want. Now, how do you solve these problems? So I just give them a patient hearing, and then that's how, in fact, one couple approached us, and they had moved from Bangalore, and then they saw that in Goa there is nothing like Bangalore. They were used to playing cars, they were used to club culture. They could go anywhere by catching an auto rickshaw or calling a cab, and when they came to Goa, it was a shock for them that there is no such thing available here. And that's how we started this Club 50 Plus, and we are into mainly a lot of social work, and fortunately we have not really faced any problems. But yes, we do discuss among ourselves and try to find solution ourselves.
So I think there's one strong point that Ma'am Alka Damle has made is form your own support group. And I think that is a very, very important message we need to pick up, whether we are in a Vado or whether we are in a housing society. And if you remember very carefully, she used the word 50 plus. Now, I think by 55 she's already ringing the bell and blowing the whistle and saying, please note you are coming into our arena, get ready, get your act together. And this is a very important concept. We need to discuss, dwell on it. But one message to take home is sometimes there is a jacket, we try to fit it, it doesn't fit. As she rightly pointed out, 2-3 things. You don't give up. You say, okay, let's still get going. And then you create something and it's going. It could do better, it could be grow into many more things. But the question here is you don't give up. And I think if we can take this up as a message, home as to what we can do. We will be able to impact others in our own areas having the similar perspective. Let's hear another perspective from HelpAge India. We have Mr. Dattaprasad with us, so I'll ask him to share briefly what he thinks needs to be done, what kind of help he thinks we should all, as a group, individuals or whatever, cooperate to make not only what's in the act, some of the issues also that they have flagged off as HelpAge India.
Thank you, sir. I would rather stick to the problems, rather the reasons why we face the problems with regards to the Maintenance Act. If we look at the data available on the number of cases brought to the tribunals in various states, we can conclude that it has not even touched the tip of the iceberg. There are 6 points that I would like to categorically stress upon. The state government is to take all measures to sensitize and orient the police and judiciary regarding the protection of life and property of the elderly and provisions of this act. Because they seem to have no clue about Maintenance Act whenever we accompany the senior citizen to the police station. So I think that is very important. And there have been no concrete efforts to run mass campaigns for educating the target group or deterring adult children from abusing the elderly. The third point is government should adopt a proactive stance to protect the life and dignity of senior citizens. There should be a mass campaign to create awareness and also simultaneous strengthening of the implementation mechanism so that the aggrieved older person is confident of a respectful hearing and meaningful solution. The fourth point is the Chapter 2 of the Maintenance Act lays down the detailed procedure, but it needs to be strengthened with the provisions for monitoring and follow-up action by the state, including Panchayati Raj institutions. Because harassed, abused, exploited, physically and mentally challenged senior citizens and even their facilitators cannot deal with willful violators. So this is very important. In fact, many problems of the senior citizens caused due to manipulation, circumventions, intimidation, fraud, etc. will be solved if the tribunal and appellate tribunal are constituted as mobile units and reach out the affected senior citizens. Moreover, the problems between the carers and dependent parents or senior citizens are not confined to economic transactions alone. They are relational, intergenerational, and intra as well as inter-familiar. So these are the important points, and as Madam Damle said, that there is a strong need to form self-support groups within other villages. And there should be a lot of awareness with regards to the Maintenance Act and the sensitizing of the police machinery as well as the judiciary is also important.
Mr. Pawaskar, I wanted to raise the issue of sometime back you released a report on the elder abuse day, on the day of elder abuse. So could you just briefly say something about this day? Because we were trying to see some of the occasions where there can be a heightened awareness, and I think that is in the few months from now it's coming
Yes.
up.
15th of June is World Elders Abuse Awareness Day, and HelpAge India, we are the oldest social organization working for the cause and care of the elderly people. For last 37 years, and we have been marking this day, the 15th of June, as World Elders Abuse Awareness Day. We had also conducted survey in Goa about the elder abuse. The percentage of elder abuse in Goa in 2011 was 13%. Of course, then we took other cities, and if we take the figures of last 2 years across India, the elder abuse is on the rise. It was in 2013-14, it was 29%, and in 14-15, it was almost 50%. So that the figures speak.
All India figures.
All India figures.
So I think this is a occasion. I mean, you can visit the HelpAge India website. You type in HelpAge.
HelpAge India. www.helpageindia.org.
Yeah. And if you can note this day, I think this is a small effort that we can do at a local level to discuss elder abuse, how it happens, what interventions can be done. And this could be yet another occasion to talk or relate it to the Act and the provisions of the Act. Okay? So this is one effort that can be taken. I think the points that Mr. Pawaskar has raised is also about mass campaign. And I'm sure with what Mr. Gaudia said earlier, or what even Mr. Umesh Kamkar has said, and Collector when he spoke here, that there is an awareness that a lot needs to be done. Can we consider ourselves to be this mass, and then add the word campaign, and then you'll get a mass campaign? I think we have had a house full here. If all of us who are here just add our contribution to this campaign, I'm sure we've got 100 odd people in this group who can take this forward. Okay, so let's I can see Mr. Costa making very, very detailed notes. So the Forum for Senior Citizens of India, let's hear what the organization at an all India level is trying to do, and what are the issues that he would feel needs to be addressed in the state of Goa. Yeah, Goa level, yeah. That's an all India organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Diogo and Costa, President of Senior Citizens Forum of India, Goa Unit. Now, as an NGO, we have been trying very hard to see that senior citizens at the fag end of their lives, live peaceful life, healthy life, and for that matter, mostly our programs are health related. We conduct yoga for senior citizens, spiritual talks we arrange, then state level sports, and so on, medical camps, the lecture by reputed doctors, the advocates, we give them guidance on law also. Many senior citizens come to our office, with their grievances, and we have constituted a cell that we call as grievance cell, where two advocates and myself, I am not an advocate, but as a president, I am ex officio member on that grievance cell. So we hear a lot of cases, and I feel very bad to tell that most of the complainants happen to be Catholics, Christians. Hardly any Muslim will come, or hardly any Hindu will come. So I wonder why it is like that. Now the most probable reason may be that the boys of the house, they go on ship or in the Gulf or in Canada or in USA to different parts of the world, leaving behind their families. And the wives, there is always a tussle between the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law. We have, as Catholics, we have confessions, we have marriage courses, and I do not understand how the magnitude of the cases come from our Catholic community. So the reasons are like this: because the husband is abroad and the wives can do whatever they like with their husband's parents, in-laws. So what I suggest, I agree with our Roland Martin, quite seasoned person in all fields. Somebody was asking me, he's very intelligent and he knows everything. Everything. I said he might have been in social service for quite a long time, and we are not that much in social service. So the main reason, the senior citizens are not aware about their rights. They are also not aware of what facilities the government has provided for senior citizens in different fields, health. And that awareness has to be created. Now, how to create? We have to deliberate. And according to me, I feel that we can use some college student as they are come here today, and they have been helping senior citizen. Even in our senior citizen forum, some law students had come. They helped us to register the members and so on. So since we are, most of us, senior citizens, they are in 70s and all, and they find very difficult to approach, government authorities and inquire about their benefits and all that. So I feel that we can use the college students under that NSS they have, and that can be made as a project. So they should be given one project by their principals, and according to their involvement in that project, the grade should be given to them, and it should be considered for their passing of the examination. Even the board or the college, university examination, they can be given the grade. And I heard some time back that one of the states had decided not to give degree to medical students unless during the currency of their studies, medical studies, they have to go to village 1 month or so during vacation, and they have to help the village population, they have to give them consultation, this and that. So I think such a law should be there in Goa also, wherein the education, the students should be judged according not only to answer paper what they write in the examination, but also the practical work they have done for the society. Because the boys and the girls may study, achieve doctorate and more than that. But if they are not involved in social service, their education is of not much use to the society. It is useful only for themselves and their families. But since India is a democratic nation, that and we say all Indians are my brothers and sisters. In that respect, we have to help one another. So, what I mean to say that there are many facilities. In fact, the Act is very good. Good provisions are there in the Act, but the implementing authorities are reluctant to some extent. And I want to freely state here that these police, they sometimes ridicule the senior citizens when they go to police station. And the Havaldars, they are hardly SSC and they do not know the rules, as we were discussing when our Gaonkar was there. So they simply say that it is a simple hurt and we cannot do anything. If you want justice, you go to court. But this Act is not covered under the civil code. It is the magistrate who has to take action. And when somebody has committed a criminal act, the police is supposed to arrest him and produce him before the magistrate, that is the collector. So since it is an additional burden for them, they want to just escape this. But we as learned people have to be after this police to see that the Act is properly implemented in our state. And to go to see, even in other states, the senior citizens are not getting justice. See, at least here, when we go to police, they hear us. But in outside states, the senior citizens will tremble. They will tremble. So they need somebody to help them. And I feel that we can educate senior citizens, make them aware of their rights by arranging meetings in churches and temples. Because there, large number of senior citizens are attending the churches and temples, and we people can go there after the mass. We can arrange a meeting for senior citizens. I hope the parish priest will cooperate with us and make them aware, because they don't know what is available for them. They don't know about the medical facilities. Hardly people know that they get concession on railway. Ladies 50%, gents 40% concession they get. But they are not aware. Some people, some senior citizens buy full ticket and go. So we have to tell them this. And the right place will be the churches and also the temples. These facilities, we make them aware by publishing in our souvenir. I have given our souvenir to 4-5 people here. If they open that, they will see that there are facilities indicated in the souvenir. Facilities from Government of Goa, facilities from the central government, and facilities which are procured by us, Senior Citizens Forum. We have gone to the public, the business community. We have asked them to give concession on medicine, and at least in Margao, at least 12 pharmacies they give concession ranging from 5 to 10%. This is a great relief to person who cannot afford to buy medicine. And you know that in villages the scenario is this, that first of all people have no money to go to the doctor, private doctor. Yes. So what they do, I have no money to go. If I go to doctor, doctor will give a big prescription, and from where I will get the money? Actually, government purchases medicines in government hospitals for poor people, but the medicines are used by rich and middle income group people. And people, the senior citizens who are needy and in distress, they are told, you buy this medicine and only one strip of 10 rupees will be given to them. Whereas the costly medicines are given to the people of their choice. This I brought to the notice of auspicious ones. Then there should be awareness by TV programs. Because there should be a regular TV program on senior citizens, to depict how they suffer from their own relations. Somebody said that senior citizen was made to stay in some toilet or something, Sulabh toilet. Now see, the man is become barbaric, cruel. There was a time when the children used to touch the feet of their parents before they go out and take their blessing. But if you ask your children now, not in all families, if they ask, Baba, where you are going? They say, why you want that? I'm going somewhere, to my friend's place, or I'm going for a movie. They are so courageous now. So the family relations are deteriorating day by day, and we do not know what will happen after a decade. It is worsening. So what I suggest to the teachers, that the value education, they say many times, utter. We have to provide value education. What is value education? Now, whatever they have in their books, that has to be properly interpreted, not for the sake of examination, but to imbibe good values in them. The history can be dramatized. And even telling to the students that this war has created so many widows, so many soldiers have died there. What about their children? They became orphan and all these things, So awareness should start from the school, according to me. Thank you very much. Whatever I had to say, I have said.
See, the first purpose of the panel is basically to echo various sentiments, various perspectives, and it's not meant to be like, okay, that's the end of it. I would strongly recommend to you that when the stuff is on the website, contacts are there, you can pursue activity which Alka Damle has talked about, what HelpAge India is doing and what the Senior Citizen Forum of India is doing in Goa. Let us remember one thing, that the purpose of the seminar is to create a huge focus on the Act, but it's also important to carry on networking. So I'm getting enough signals across we have to conclude the panel discussion now.
Praveen, I just want to mention about one challenge, because the discussion was on challenges faced, So I just want to, there is in my colony, there is a in the neighborhood there is a beautiful bungalow, and the man was deserted by his family, that is by children and wife. Then the man went to the ashram. and he has willed his property on that ashram's name. Now man is no more, and the court case is going on for last 5-6 years. Now in such cases, what do we do? Because I see that the Bangalore condition is, it's getting dilapidated, it's totally ruined. And I really can't do anything about that. Those ashram people keep coming to me, asking me if I can help because the Bangalore is in my vicinity. So these are some of the challenges which I face. Even the psychological issues. Many people ring up because they are feeling very lonely. Money cannot buy them happiness.
So what I'm saying is that if we looked at where it all has to start, as Mr. Costa rightly pointed out, if there is value education, then the children will grow and things will improve. But we also have the current situation. So one of the things that we will need to address is financial literacy, literacy about one's civic and consumer rights, literacy on the banking process, a lot of these things, how to write a will, how to see that, nobody else puts his signature where the nomination clause is. There are so many things one could go into. That is why we are looking at the strengths that are there in the group that's here. What we would like to really take forward here is the various points that have been raised. When you go back, I would think that the best you could do is say what amount of activity you could do in your local area, what kind of support would you require. You would like to take this activity forward as the district magistrate has shared, as Mr. Gaonkar has shared. We've had varied input from morning. So what we need to do is now when we go back, we localize it. Whether you're in Bardes or whether in Bicholi or Satari or wherever you are. The point here, or in South Goa, the point here is that what can I do with the information that I've got from morning? Okay? And as I said, there are 2 or 3 occasions we can point out for which we can take. One is that 15 June is not far away. Before that is 8th of March, International Women's Day. Women who are senior citizens, even if they just came together, sit, discuss, what are the challenges we face, okay? 15 June is there, 1st of October is there. So if we really look at opportunities, a number of opportunities are there. We are also going to identify the district council and the state councils which are being set up. They will be on the website, plus we will see that press release goes out. So opportunities to link up will be there. So thanks to the panelists for presenting their views and giving us an opportunity to know that there are activities going on and organizations concerned with citizens, senior citizens who are getting involved. Thank you so much. Before you leave, we will try and put some phone numbers or addresses that you could pick up and note it down. Whether it's the Dignity Foundation, Forum for Senior Citizens, and even the, so.
That concludes the panel discussion on the challenges faced by the senior citizens organizations in implementing the acts and rules. I thank all the speakers on stage. And now we go in for the final session of the day, conclusion. So I request the speakers to remain on the stage, and I invite the Assistant Director of Directorate of Social Welfare, Shri Sudesh Gowde, to kindly join us back on stage. Before we begin the final session, I request Mr. Gowde to kindly hand over the special tokens of our appreciation to our speakers on the stage for the panel discussion. To Ms. Alka Damle, founder, president of Club 50+. Mr. Dattaprasad Pawaskar, the head of HelpAge India. And Mr. Diogo M. Costa, President of Senior Citizen Forum of India, Goa.